Alright, we have to talk about the elephants in the room. Let me sketch a scenario. So you drop hundreds and hundreds of local currency on a PlayStation 5 and a shiny new PlayStation VR2 virtual reality headset to go along with it. Maybe you can afford to get a game or two straight away before your coffers have fully emptied. With some enthusiasm, you decide to check out the free games section in the PlayStation Store, hoping to snag some additional titles to round out your roster. Hundreds of games pop up, so you filter for just the PlayStation VR2 section. Oh my! There's just 6 options to pick between, and I'm being pretty generous as one of these just refuses to be downloaded. So 5 then, really. Do these titles at the very least hold significant merit? Are they worth a thorough look, your valuable time, or your precious money through microtransactions? For the most part, no, not really. But let's spend some time on this mess anyway. Welcome, the Fixed Spots on Video Games. Let's take a look at the free games that are available on PlayStation VR2. First up is Epic Roller Coasters. If this is your first VR experience or you just want to show something easily digestible to a friend, I guess it can't hurt. There are about 5 or 6 free maps to pick from, plus a needlessly lengthy tutorial. All maps offer a unique roller coaster ride with 3 different game modes to tackle them. Classic means a simple, non-interactive ride through a level. The visuals and set pieces are fairly interesting and they're quite enjoyable the first time around. The race mode is a waste of storage space and development time. You use the controllers to accelerate and brake in an effort to get the quickest time. The controls and mechanics are a mess though. You can't really go above 120 kilometers an hour and your eyes will be glued to a tiny bar on the right hand side of the screen. It's boring and simply not worth your time. The third game mode is the shooter mode. It is the most engaging, sure, but the controls lack fluidity and responsiveness. There isn't a lot of depth here either. Classic mode is the only one I'd recommend, just to enjoy the sights for a few minutes. There are a bunch of extra packs available for purchase and they're pretty pricey too. Honestly, unless you have some sort of a thing for virtual roller coasters, you weirdo, don't bother with this one. Let's move on to Zenith. This game apparently had a bit of hype to it when it launched. Not much to be said about that nowadays though. In my short time with the game, I came across one single dude completely unresponsive. Probably died of loneliness or boredom. It took me well over 5 minutes to get past their Kafka-esque sign-up screen, but fine, once in, there is a bit of promise of quality here that the other titles didn't have, a sense of scope. The movement is pretty decent too, actually. You can climb most surfaces, glide around and swing like Spider-Man from these glowing orbs. Just messing around with the movement, there is some enjoyment to be found here with the mechanics. The combat is beyond broken though. It feels undeveloped, unfinished, and worst of all, boring as shit. You whack computer-controlled dudes with limp projectiles or a bow that feels weak and whatever the opposite of tactile is. This one has some fundamentals in place, but it feels incomplete. It's something of an empty promise really, as the hype that had appeared around its release seems to have been entirely misjudged. Skip it without a second thought and you won't miss a thing. Third on the list is Cactus Cowboy, a first-person shooter. This one is a single-player experience, including a campaign with story sections. Unlike the previous entries, this one isn't a cash grab, but a genuine labor of love that is completely free to play. No in-game purchases. It definitely gets points for that. A bunch of people had a good time with Cactus Cowboy and I can't fault them for that. To me, however, I could take about half an hour of this low poly jank before I had enough. The shooting and gameplay seem so incredibly off. Even the way you hold a weapon with two hands, it just feels wrong. The levels demand a very linear approach, and you kinda have to go at it with a trial and error approach to progress. The art direction is minimalistic, but does have a certain charm to it. Me and my buddy Don, who joined me on this janky adventure, were having a pretty good laugh when we were dropped on the beaches of Normandy. It's stupid in the best of ways. Now, the first-person shooter genre is heavily saturated on PlayStation VR2. There are so many different options to pick from, so many unique flavors to taste. If you've got any of the good ones, like let's say for example, The Light Brigade, Compounds, After the Fall or Arizona Sunshine, there isn't much reason to give this one a go. Except that, unlike Cactus Cowboy, none of those are completely free. Right, let's move on to actual gambling. Vegas Infinite provides blackjack, poker, slot machines, roulettes, you name it. And yes, you can spend your actual real-life local currency on make-believe gambling. Fantastic. Honestly, to me, the entire thing is a bit icky. Even a bit dystopian, considering Sony is offering Vegas Infinite as one of their sole free VR titles on PlayStation 5. If you can get a few friends to join you, it can be a spot of fun though. There's plenty of games to lose your money on, and if you've got luck like I do, your mates will be laughing their asses off at your expense. Good times. It's crossplay too, so friends on Quest or Steam can join as well. Visually, it stands out among its contenders, but it does feel a bit analog for a VR title. The controls work, but they don't work fluidly. If you're the type of person to be gripped by Vegas Infinite, I'm so sorry for you. Please try not to waste too much, if any, dough on this one, okay? Then we've got My First Gran Turismo. This one I absolutely recommend. This standalone game serves as an introduction of sorts to Gran Turismo 7 with a few of its tracks, cars and game modes available to try out. The cars you unlock are even carried over to Gran Turismo 7 should you ever purchase it. My First Gran Turismo plays equally as fantastic as the main game. The same kind of polish that is found there is present here as well. If you've never experienced Gran Turismo before, or you've been on the fence whether to get GT7, this is the perfect way to give it a go for yourself. I went for a controller as I was too lazy to grab the wheel and pedals I own. It works alright, I suppose. I've never played GT7 with a controller, and I was quite surprised how much the vibrations and haptic feedback added to the sensations of driving a car at speed. Just be aware that the immersion, precision and game feel are infinitely better if you combine the virtual reality headset with a wheel and pedals equipped with force feedback. This game is the one thing I wanted to see more of in the free games section on the PlayStation Store. A strong, vertical slice of a bigger package. As such, it's not big in size, but it is big in quality. The ladies tell me that's much more important in life. I did a video on Gran Turismo 7 and the series as a whole recently, and you can check that out on my channel. Finally, the mysterious sixth game. I'd love to tell you what this one is all about, but for the life of me, I could just not get it to download to my PlayStation 5. For some strange reason, the store just said no whenever I tried, something that I never came across before in all my time on PlayStation Network. It's something about climate change, I'm guessing from the pictures provided, I don't really know. Really, it sums up this mess quite well. 5 freebies of varying quality is all there is. Free games that can easily be skipped, 1 error message, a literal casino, and 1 decent experience in My First Gran Turismo. Compared to the quality and variety that is on offer, not just on other stores like Meta, but also on Sony's own platforms, the free games section for the PlayStation VR2 is a sad, empty, lackluster mess that, instead of celebrating this expensive skull screen, kinda brings it down. Sure, it's free and you might be inclined to give some leeway because of that. It's an obvious lie, of course. Epic Roller Coasters only offers a fraction of the full experience for free. Zenith is packed with microtransactions. Infinite Vegas backs you to hand in actual money so you can then throw it away on virtual chips. My First Gran Turismo is basically an advertisement for GT7. Only Cactus Cowboy is truly and honestly a free game. One of mediocre quality, sure, but it really is a free game nonetheless. Not the usual free to attend, pay to enjoy style of monetization. And that's a shame because the PlayStation VR2 is capable of so much more than the free games would make it appear to be. At the same time, it's also rather telling of the current state of virtual reality gaming in general, a topic that we'll discuss at some point in the near future. What are your thoughts on this mess? Let me know below. I always love to hear from you. Enjoyed the show? Leave a like and go ahead and subscribe for more content down the line. I make videos about all sorts of VR games. Thanks for watching Big Spots on Video Games. Have a good one, and I'll see you at the next one.